Hello there fellow Jedis, it's Mikey from Respawning, and in case you didn't know, we're currently celebrating 10 days of Star Wars, and today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and more so the Dark Souls elements that are reportedly heavily influencing the game. Unless you've been living under a rock, you would have heard that this game features a lot of Dark Souls, well not actual Dark Souls, but features a lot of elements from Dark Souls. Now, I'm no expert on Dark Souls, the only time I played was very drunkenly with Hav, you can go check out that stream, it was a lot of fun. And speaking of Javier, he's here today, along with Luke, to discuss whether we should be worried about these Dark Souls elements. Is it too much, or is it going to make the game very special? First of all, I'm going to hand it over to Hav. Well, I say Hav, it's going to be my voice, but Javier's words. You get the drift.
Yeah, I'm okay. You alright? No, we are not doing that again.
Okay, so firstly, let's break down what has been revealed that hints at Dark Souls gameplay. I've read that there is a flashlight equipped to Cal, the game's protagonist, which is more than just a way to light up the darkness, it also acts as a parry tool, much like the gun in Bloodborne. The reasoning behind this is that Cal is only a Padawan, so won't be slicing down enemies like they're Swiss cheese, he's going to need some help. Additionally, you can obviously parry, but that's not a trait unique to Souls games. Just one that Souls couldn't be without. There are also save points, which you can level up and refill your stim pack counter, and there's no auto heal nor health pickups, and using these checkpoints will cause the enemies to respawn. These are all central Souls mechanics that are necessary to call them Soulsborne games, so it seems we're getting Dark Souls Star Wars. Additionally, it would appear that the bosses require patience instead of block, ranged attack, go in, block, ranged attack, and more carefully measured time-based combat, wearing the enemy down to eventually destroy them, not knocking big chunks of health off at a time like many classic third-person action games. What is interesting is that there will reportedly be no stamina bar in Fallen Order, which is the only other element that they need to put in to make it Dark Souls in space. I think this is the part that worries me. In my mind, it should go all in or just don't. What they're essentially doing is throwing in a lot of Souls elements, but taking out the tricky glue that makes everything else work, and that's stamina management. Without this element, the game becomes the same as every other action game, which is absolutely fine, but why bother with these other Souls elements which they've borrowed? The reason this worries me is that it seems they've gone, loads of people really love the combat in Dark Souls, let's put some of that in. And then someone has replied, but don't forget, kids will buy this and they can't play Souls games. So took out the core difficulty mechanic, meaning that the combat could be a bit pieced together and not a fully fledged, deep combat system that warrants the tough as balls combat. To me, it should have every element that makes it work. I've played games that have just taken elements of the Souls formula, and that formula didn't work. And I guess this backs onto another worry. EA. Now, it's easy to bash EA, but I'm not one of those people. Just look at how much I love FIFA. I also love FIFA. That's Mikey, by the way. Anyway, back to Hav. What I don't like, though, is what they did with the Battlefront games. In my mind, they took one of the most fun Star Wars games and made it a Call of Duty clone. A generic online shooter with a Star Wars skin. I know not everyone shares this opinion, but I detested these new games, and felt like they pretty much shat on amazing experiences that I had as a kid. Extreme, I know. Really, what it told me was that EA didn't know how to make a Star Wars game. How to keep that childlike element that is cleverly weaved into everything they do. Yes, I do want a challenging and rewarding Padawan to Jedi story/game, but it still has to be fun and have some goofiness. I don't think a true Star Wars Dark Souls game could actually be made, because the thing that works so well about Souls is this suffocating, dank atmosphere, and well, that ain't Star Wars. Obviously, I hope this game is solid and fun, and just bloody amazing, but I really hope it's enough of its own game, and doesn't try to borrow too heavily from other games. But hey, we shall see very soon.
Visitation is not permitted.
So there we have it. We've heard from Javier, who is quite new to his obsession with Dark Souls, so it only feels right that we call him Respawning's true Dark Souls expert. Luke, the floor is yours.
Watch yourself in there.
You hear that? Said he needs my help. Come on, buddy.
I am quite worried about the Dark Souls elements bleeding into Jedi Fallen Order because, well, I don't want them there. Dark Souls and other Soulsborns work because it's what they are. It's all they are, and I really don't want these elements shoehorned into my Star Wars game. I want to be a force-wielding god that can take down stormtroopers by the Legion. Also, the fact that there is a difficulty meter does make me anxious, because Dark Souls' combat style simply doesn't work unless the combat is hard. Hell, even God of War, which borrowed so heavily from the Soulsborne franchises, had some bits which were tough as hell, and these were the best the game had to offer. Hopefully I am wrong, and Dark Souls and Star Wars go together like PB and J. But I can't help feeling like all my fears will come true, and they'll blend together like PB and turds.
We'll stay here and monitor Imperial transmissions. With a bit of luck, we'll intercept any distress calls.
Appreciate it. My lieutenants and I will scout ahead to prepare the attack. Join us when you're ready. Go! Go!
Now heard from Star Wars and Dark Souls obsessed Javier and Luke. But what about me, your trusty narrator? Well, personally, I just want to feel like a Jedi and be a badass. I'm looking forward to the game no matter what. I just hope it's not too hard, because let's be honest, I'm a wimp when it comes to difficulty in video games. Anyway, thank you for watching. As always, make sure you check out all our other YouTube videos right here on Respawning's YouTube channel. And for the latest news and reviews, check out respawning.co.uk. We also have podcasts, just search Respawning on Spotify, Stitcher or iTunes and you're sure to find our wonderful voices. We also have a Patreon page with some pretty cool rewards, so make sure to check that out at patreon.com/respawning. Are you going to play Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? Let us know in the comments below, and let us know if you're worried about Dark Souls elements, or if you embrace them. I've been Mikey, and the wonderful words you've been hearing have been written by Javier and Luke. I'll see you next time.